Welcome everyone to Lecture 41 of this self-knowledge course. A very interesting conference in which we will learn about the dance of the Dervishes and the transmutation of cosmic forces. The objective of this conference is to give us some tools so that we can perform better in esoteric work. So, today we will be learning some practices that will result in a very good complement to the work we have been doing in the practice of the three factors for the revolution of consciousness, which are what will lead us to awaken our consciousness. As well as they will be a very useful complement to be successful in our verification and research practices such as astral projection and meditation. Since these practices that we will learn today will allow us to improve our ability to concentrate and will help us receive strength for our inner work. Let's first study the dance of the Dervishes. The Dervishes are masters from Turkey who live in the desert. There are singing dervishes and dancing dervishes. Singing dervishes teach the processes of consciousness through songs and music. The dancing dervishes teach through dances how the body can be in harmony with the universe, with certain movements or runes, which mobilize forces within us that are very useful to achieve concentration. So, these dances aim to help us achieve concentration. We must do them before any practice to be successful in it. If you want to obtain good results in practices such as astral projection, meditation, sexual transmutation, etc., you must harmonize the physical body with the inner part, and this is achieved with these exercises. These dances are 3 runes. They are very simple movements. We are going to learn now how they are done, so that we are encouraged to check their effect when we go to do some of the practices that we have learned here in the course. The first of these dances is very useful because it unloads the liver, the solar plexus, and the emotional area. This makes this dance very helpful to achieve astral projection. It also aligns or coordinates the 3 brains, the motor, the emotional, and the intellectual brains, so that we can have better concentration in any practice we are going to do. In addition, it organizes and rotates the 7 chakras correctly. The poor management of energy and the energy expenditure in which all humans live cause these chakras to rotate counterclockwise. This dance is very simple. It consists of standing with our arms open, palms facing up, and from that position begin to rotate clockwise. You are going to do a minimum of 21 turns, and when you finish, bend your right leg forward and put your left arm on your right knee. Meanwhile, with your right hand you squeeze your forehead, so that there is no dizziness. If you do it for 8 days in a row, you realize that there is no longer that feeling of dizziness, and if there is, it is very little. Thus, the liver is being unloaded, which allows for better conscious astral projection. Here we can see an example of how this first dance is carried out. The second dance serves to quiet the mind. Most people work all day and carry a lot of worries. They are those concerns that don't allow us to concentrate when we are meditating, nor to achieve astral projection, nor to carry out any practice. If we are intellectuals and we sit all day in an office, it is necessary to balance ourselves a little, to be more relaxed and better focused on the practice we are going to do. So, it is advisable to do this dance for a period of 5 or 10 minutes. It is a dance that coordinates the 3 brains. First, it quiets the intellectual brain, since the best way to quiet the intellectual is by not thinking, and when concentrating on coordinating the 3 movements that make up this dance, the mind becomes silent. It also puts the emotional brain in the mood that is required to be able to start any practice. And it also balances the motor brain. This exercise is very simple and is carried out like this. We begin to jog in the same place, At the same time, we begin to clap rhythmically back and forth of the body, and at the same time turn our head from one side to the other. That's the whole exercise. Undoubtedly, while doing the exercise you cannot think, because no thought is sustained there, then the balancing process begins to occur. If we do this exercise for 5 or 10 minutes before any practice, we will obtain a much greater ability to concentrate. Let's observe here how this dance is performed. The third dance consists of coordinating 3 movements. We begin to jog in the same place. At the same time, we begin to clap to the left side while turning our head to the right side. Then we clap our hands to the right side and turn our heads to the left side. It is very simple, but you have to practice until you coordinate it very well. In these last 2 exercises, the important thing is to coordinate 3 things: the movements of the head, the movements of the arms forward and backward, or to the sides, and the movements of the legs. Finally, breathing is also coordinated. When you have enough practice, they are done very easily. Practice makes perfect. Here you can see an example of how this third dance is carried out. If you dare to practice these dances daily, before doing your practices, you will see their very beneficial results. Let us now look at the transmutation of cosmic forces. The transmutation of cosmic forces is a work that we must do consciously. This work is carried out between planet Earth, the microcosm man, and the Sirius Sun. When we do this work, we gain the Dharma for the conscious help we do to the planet. That Dharma that we receive is reflected in the strength that we get from participating in this work. Planet Earth needs our conscious collaboration. And when we do so, we are charged with spiritual energy and strength for our inner work. Before starting to do it, we must do the dervish dance to have sufficient concentration. We must know that the planet Earth has its sun inside. This sun is called Melchizedek, the inner sun that is in the center of the planet. We, inside us, have our internal sun, known as the Nous atom or Nous Sunday. And in the center of this galaxy is the Sirius Sun. There is where the army of the voice is, which we talked about in Conference 28, when we talked about the universal Christ, which is that union of beings of light or self-realized masters, cosmos creators, who form the army of the voice. From this sun comes all the energy that sustains creation. If one imagines the spiritual sun Sirius, one sees a spiral of little lights formed by millions of angels that move the army of the voice, of spectacular brilliance. Depending on the degree of concentration you have, you will be able to see this. A person who performs the transmutation of cosmic forces for 1 to 2 hours can see things like this. The opportunity to see it is achieved with good concentration. So, this work will be done by transferring energy through these 3 suns. We do this work by invoking our inner being, because for our inner being there is no space or time. So, the distance to the Sirius Sun doesn't matter. The distance from where we are, to the center of the Earth, the 6,240 kilometers that are more or less to the center of the Earth, for our inner being is nothing difficult. He, in a second, can be there. We sit with our palms facing up. And we will imagine the vortices of reception and transmission of cosmic energy that are in the toes. Then the work is to transfer energy from planet Earth to our heart, then transfer it to the Sirius Sun. Then lower it back into our heart, and finally deliver that cosmic energy to planet Earth. There you make a complete turn, or transmutation. We carry energy with a procedure of breathing and imagination. We are going to inhale, while we take the energy from the center of the earth to our heart. There we are going to retain the air, while with our imagination we take the energy to Sirius. And we bring the energy of Sirius to our inner sun, while still holding the breath. And then we exhale all the air from our lungs, as we deliver the energy to planet Earth. For doing this practice you can be sitting or standing, it doesn't matter. But something important is that we are going to imagine 5 infinity symbols, or 8s. We inhale making the first 8 in the center of the planet, and we take the energy from the center of the planet to the height of the heart. There we make the second 8 with our imagination. We take now the energy towards Sirius through the crown of the head, because the crown is the man's exit point of the planet. Then we arrive at Sirius, we imagine Sirius, we make the third 8 there, and we return the cleansed energy to the heart. Upon returning to the heart, we make the fourth 8 there. And then we exhale and expel all that energy to the center of the planet, making the fifth 8 there, in the center of the planet. Then we inhale again to start a second round, and so on. So, let's review how the practice is done from the beginning. Let's always remember, before starting this and any practice, to ask our inner being for assistance. We can do the Dervishes dances to enter the practice with an optimal state of concentration and harmony. We can sit with our hands on our legs, palms up, and begin the process of transmutation of cosmic forces. We begin with an inhalation, while with our imagination we collect energy from the center of the earth, making the first 8 in the center of the planet, and taking the energy through our feet to the height of the heart. As we slowly inhale the air, we make the second 8 at the level of the heart. Now, holding the breath, we imagine how the energy leaves through our crown towards Sirius, and going towards Sirius, we imagine Sirius. There we make the third 8. Now, while we are still holding the breath, we take the cleansed energy back to our heart, penetrating through the crown of our head. We make the fourth 8 in the heart. Leaving the heart, we exhale the air, sending all the energy we brought to the earth, imagining that we discharge that energy in the center of the planet. And we make the fifth 8 in the center of the planet. Thus, a complete breath, inhalation, retention, and exhalation, will take from 30 seconds to a minute, depending on the lung capacity of each person. Therefore, there is no need to worry about running, there is no rush. And we repeat that procedure as many times as the time we have allocated for the practice. I hope you dedicate a daily schedule to this practice. At the end of this transmutation, we feel charged with a very special energy to practice astral projection, meditation, whatever. It is a very special energy. The more energy you have transmuted, the better you will feel, and the better you will be able to concentrate to do other practices. You can imagine the energy silver gray when you pick it up from Earth and golden, or blue when you return it from Sirius. At the least expected moment, you start to see it. You will see the current of energy that runs through your body, but that is seen during the practice. The conditions for the exercise of the transmutation of cosmic forces are: to be barefoot, in a quiet place, if possible, in contact with the ground. If you do not have that possibility at the moment, make sure that there are no insulating materials such as carpets or rubber under your feet. And these are the practices we had for today. I hope you are encouraged to practice them to verify the results. I leave you with the invitation to the next conference, in which we will talk about the 2 kinds of knowledge that exist. In that conference, we are going to learn to differentiate between the objective and the subjective knowledge. We are going to understand which one serves us for inner advancement, and what negative consequences the accumulation of subjective knowledge brings to our consciousness. Don't miss that important topic.